BTB listeners, thank you so much for checking out today's episode. Listen, if this episode inspires you, do me a favor and take 5 seconds to shoot me a like and subscribe to the podcast. There are several more exciting guests that are in the pipeline, and I just can't thank you enough for your continued support, and let's keep paying the mission forward. If the BTB project has taught me anything, it's that growth doesn't happen when things are easy. Growth doesn't happen when life is teed up in such a way that you're never challenged, you never have to overcome adversity. You're just kind of ho-humming through your life, and there's nothing that pushes you, there's nothing that stretches you. Growth typically happens when you show up, especially when no one's watching. It's what you do in the silence, it's what you do in the dark that manifests who you become as a human being. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? The time is now. The time is right now. You weren't built to break. You were built to be something greater. Welcome to Season 2 of the BTB Project. I'm your host, Coleman Gearhart. I was an overweight kid, the one counted out, lost 100 pounds, found purpose in the pain, and turned my setbacks into a story worth telling. This podcast isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about identity, discipline, and comebacks. Getting up one more time and becoming who we're always meant to be. If you're ready to go deep, do the work, and live out what you're built to be, you're in the right place. Let's lock in, let's rise, and let's get to work. What is going on, BTB family? I'm your host, Coleman Gearhart, and this one feels special. It's hard for me to imagine that I'm saying this right now, but this is episode 200 of the BTB Project. Let that sink in for a second. It's honestly hard to believe that just a little bit less than 3 years ago, I sat down with a microphone that I was able to scrap together, a little soundboard, 0 followers, a whole lot of faith. And I just said, I'm going to give this a shot. No idea where it would go. I didn't have a particular strategy. I was just a voice, purpose. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? And a dream to help people live the best possible version of their lives. And here we are after 200 episodes. There's listeners in 43 different countries. Thousands and thousands of downloads. And more importantly, it's real people, real stories, and real impact. It's wild to me how big of an impact the project has been. The thing that I'm most proud of isn't the reach of the numbers or the amazing countries that have downloaded an episode. It's that I didn't quit. Kept my head down. What a lot of you don't understand is throughout recording the Project Podcast, I've had several trials and tribulations, job loss, loved ones lost, personal, difficult, dark circumstances, trying to face some of the most challenging aspects of my past that I thought I was able to address, but I wasn't quite there. But over these last 200 episodes, I've learned a few things. And I often say that this podcast is more for me than anybody else because of everything that I've learned about life, about people, about myself. And I really want to dig in on that today to help you as the listener. Because if the BTB Project has taught me anything, it's that growth doesn't happen when things are easy. Growth doesn't happen when life is teed up in such a way that you're never challenged, you never have to overcome adversity. You're just kind of ho-humming through your life, and there's nothing that pushes you. There's nothing that stretches you. Growth typically happens when you show up, especially when no one's watching. It's what you do in the silence. It's what you do in the dark that manifests who you become as a human being. So I want to share a few lessons that I've learned over these last 200 episodes. And lesson one is you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. I remember my first episode, I pulled out an old news article that one of my former clients did of me through their school newspaper. And it was an interview to discuss my life and accomplishments, adversity, and who I've become as a coach. In that first episode, I literally just went back through the questions that was asked to me at that point over 9-10 years ago. And I answered those questions again on the podcast, just as a way for you to get to know me. And I find it interesting because so many people tell me they want to start a podcast. A lot of people talk to me about wanting to write a book, launch a business, chase a dream. But they're always waiting for the perfect moment. I remember with my podcast equipment, my wife actually got pretty upset with me because at the time money was tight and I had bought this microphone and a soundboard because she encouraged me that if I wanted to start a podcast that I should go for it. The moment I get everything ready and I'm getting ready to record my first episode, I actually ended up taking all of the equipment back. I felt like money's tight to even have this type of stuff. Why should I speak to the world about optimism, being motivated when I was struggling myself? And the truth is, the perfect moment doesn't always exist in life. At least not the ways that we plan it. I believe God has an unbelievable way of making the perfect moments in our life because we hold on to hope and we keep showing up in the most difficult of circumstances. I truly believe that the perfect moment doesn't exist if we're trying to find it. You have to figure out life as you go. There is no perfect plan. There is no shortcut to accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in your life. After I got done recording my first episode, I remember getting into my second, third, and fourth episodes. And part of the process of creating a podcast is the editing that takes place after you record. When I first started, I was using this program called Audacity, And it essentially is the voice recorder line, and you go through and you cut parts of the audio that you don't like. And I remember all the ums and ahs and pauses and things that I was doing. I was like, man, some of these episodes are just a total flop. Like, who wants to listen to an awkward pause? Who wants to listen to guests that don't show up and instead it's me doing a BTB short? Who wants to just listen to me? Are people just wanting to listen because other people are on the podcast? Those are the times where I almost gave up. They say most people who start a podcast do not even make it to their 10th episode. If you get past your 10th episode, most people don't get to 20. And it is less than 1% that get past 50, 0.5% to 100, and even less when you get to 200. So if we know that there's going to be mistakes along the way, as I've learned in the other 199 episodes that I've done, sometimes you just have to figure it out as you go. That's where the gold is. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up on days that you don't feel like it, because there are people out there that are encouraged by your consistency of being present. I can't believe some of the feedback that I've gotten from episodes, of what those episodes have meant to those individuals, what those episodes have meant to groups of people, to folks that are really struggling with depression and anxiety, not sure how to approach tomorrow, getting a text or a DM saying, Coleman, thank you for yesterday's episode. That helped me in more ways than you could ever imagine. So how does someone that at one point was returning their sound equipment because life was tough and they had second and third and fourth doubts about starting a podcast, go from that to people saying their life has been impacted? It's very important for you to understand that. Don't have to have it all figured out. Just start. Be present. Lesson 2 is be real. People connect to your flaws, not this perfect image or filter of what's not reality. I often wear the same clothes in my episodes. I'm always sitting in the same office. Sometimes it kind of seems plain Jane or vanilla. Point of that is, when I started, I thought I had to sound like every other motivational host. I listened to a lot of podcasts myself that actually inspired me to start the BTB Project. But I always felt like I had to be polished and smooth and scripted. And I've come a long way to where I'm a little bit more organized when I do an episode. But what I've learned is people crave authenticity. Just saw an unbelievable image of AI and where AI is going to take a lot of people's jobs, but the type of jobs or character traits that AI can't take are people with authenticity, are people who understand how to adapt and adjust in life and have an instinct, problem solve, have an instinct to want to build relationships. So with all of the stuff going on of where we're going with technology, being real and being authentic is something that nobody can take away from you. A lot of people want to hear about the stumble. It was hard for me a few episodes back to share one of the toughest parts of my life, being abused by my cousins and having to relive that. But it's the project that actually got me to understand myself, to face it. By the grace of God, that story, that testimony touched a lot of people's lives. A lot of people standing up saying, oh, me too, me too, me too. Been through the same thing. I appreciate your authenticity to share your story. People want to hear the emotion in your voice when you talk about something that matters. I've shared a lot of painful stories besides my cousins, about losing my mom, about battling depression, about feeling like I wasn't enough. And this podcast, as much as I share my stories, I don't want this to be about me. I want these stories to resonate with you and your built to be journey. So my advice, don't hide your scars. Don't sit in the background in silence. Let yourself speak. You don't have to have a microphone in front of you to do that. You can do that in every interaction of your life. That's not a sign of weakness. That's proof that you survived. And that call out of understanding where you've been and where you're going just might help save a life. Lesson 3 is success is consistency over time. If I'm being real with you guys, I've wanted to quit a dozen times on this podcast. This isn't my full-time job. I actually work 3 or 4 jobs. And sometimes some of those other jobs have bumps in the road. So how do I feel about getting on camera and talking when I'm hurting? Just want to keep attacking consistency. There were months where downloads were low and guests canceled and life got heavy. But what I realize is that people who win in life aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who stay consistent when others stop showing up. Whether you're chasing a dream or working through a setback or just trying to be 1% better every day, keep showing up. Consistency compounds. Consistency is the starship that gets you where you want to go. And one day you'll look back and realize I've built something incredible. Not because it came out of a box, not because I bought it from somebody else. I built it brick by brick. Lesson 4 is gratitude changes everything. Every episode, every guest, every message I get from you guys reminds me of how blessed I am to do this. No matter where you are right now, take a second and just breathe it in. Maybe life is tough right now, but you just started your car. You're able to go grab a Starbucks, went into an air-conditioned or heated office. Your colleagues, staff, and friends around you, a second to breathe it in. Be grateful for how far you've come. Even when you're not where you want to be yet, you're further than you were. Gratitude doesn't just change your mindset, it changes your direction. It shifts you from why me to try me. Gratitude in this podcast absolutely go hand in hand, because it's documenting the journey. every episode that I look back and listen to some of the amazing guests that I've had on, what those guests don't realize is I learn more from them, that hour and a half conversation, than I do a lot of books, a lot of teachers. Thought that they were educational moments in my life, but no, I learn more from the people that I come across. I learn from their journeys, and I'm grateful for them to share those journeys to help you. Lesson 5. You were built to become. The older I get, 41 years old now, the more I realize this. Life isn't about arriving. It's about becoming who you're built to be. You're not built to stay the same. You're not built to be complacent. You're built to evolve. And that's what the BTB Project has always been about. Since episode 1. So 200 episodes later, whether you're starting something new or rebuilding after a tough season, remember, you're not behind. You're just becoming. It's all part of the process. So here we are, 200 episodes in. If this podcast has impacted you in any way, just know that you've also impacted me. You've taught me what community feels like. You've reminded me that stories matter. You've shown me that purpose doesn't just have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. And as we look into the next chapter, I'm beyond excited to share something that has been in the works. The BTB Blueprint. The blueprint is everything that I've learned. Not only through these 200 episodes, but through over 20 years of coaching, through becoming a Division I athlete myself, a lifetime dream of chasing purpose, the thousands of athletes that I've been able to help, that I've been able to coach, that I've been able to help roadmap their journey, their goals, to create the outcomes based off of what they're built to be. It's designed to help you identify your why, own your story, and be able to turn your struggles into strengths. In these next few episodes, I'm going to start breaking down a little bit piece by piece, from mindset to habits to identity to leadership, and how to live the life that you were built to be through a blueprint. So to every single listener, guest, supporter, and friend who has been part of this journey, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've made this more than just a podcast. You've made it a movement, a BTB community that's moving to become the strongest version of ourselves and changing the world. So here's to the next 200 episodes. Here's to the growth, the grit, the gratitude, and to the reminder that no matter what you're facing right now, you are built to be something extraordinary. I love you guys. Thank you for believing in me and believing in yourself. Now let's keep going. 1% better together every day. If this BTB episode impacted you, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the BTB Project. Better yet, send this message to a family member, friend, or colleague. And ask them, hey, what are you capable of? Guy that told I was never going to be good enough to play Division I college tennis. Can go from that to losing 100 pounds to playing D1 college tennis. coaching multiple people to state championships, college scholarships, changing lives, impacting lives. I can do it, or you can. You are built to be great. As always, I'm proud of each and every one of you. And until next time, take care.